Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. Um, I'm back with more hip hop news. I wanted to talk about recent releases that I've done throughout the podcast's history and just talk about Jay Electronica. So he released three new projects: Written Testimony Mars, The Inhibited Planet, Leaflets, and then Act Two, The Patents of Nobility. A lot of music from an artist that rarely drops, and he's very selective about his musical choices, and he really doesn't drop much. He only has Before these projects released, he only had one solo project, and then of course he had the Exhibit C song that was huge for everyone. That kind of put him on the map on everybody's radar, but we never really got music from him. And ironically, we only got music from him, I believe, during the COVID year in 2020 when he released that first project, that written testimony album. Now, if you've been paying attention to him, well, one of the projects, he said he made 19 albums. So we'll see how many projects are released the rest of this year or going forward, because we might not hear from him again for probably another 5 years. But at some point, he'll have to drop with consistency if he wants to, I guess, be considered in amongst the hip hop greats. Uh, but lyrically, he's up there with most of the greats. But he said he already made 19 albums for Jay Z, so we'll see how many of those actually come out. But listen to this project the projects made me realize that Jay Electronica is very different from other artists in hip hop specifically. One of my favorite songs is "Who Unalived" or "Who Killed Michael Jackson," which it's not on DSPs anymore, or you have to go on YouTube to find it. But he presents some excellent rapping. The production as well is very well thought out. But I just feel like he's one of the best hip hop artists, or artists that incorporate skits or incorporate samples or audio clips of other things. And in this clip, he had the clip of the military guy talking about extraterrestrial or alien life that's on Earth and that he knows about and he was going to testify to. So Jay Electronica appears to be a conspiracy theorist, but a lyricist as well. So he makes a blend of those, and it's unique to see because most artists back in the day, you would hear like these audio clips on mixtapes before they rap, or it would be some kind of rendition of it that way. Most artists aren't brave enough to put those audio clips or samples or those auditory things on a full project, or a project that's released as an album or LP or EP or whatever you want to name it. But he's one of the rare artists that will do that. So I appreciate that about his music, because you think that it'd be a lot, but I love listening to those audio clips because most of them I haven't heard before or heard of before, but just never explored them. So he'll put those on there in relation to what he's rapping about. So it's very unique. He's brave and not afraid of the council culture or even being the villain, because he wants to put his music out and is very brave. And I always commend him for that. Even though even his debut album did that, with the Minister Farrakhan audio clips. But he always give us usually concise project with his views and perspectives, and that's a part of hip hop as well, being able to give a perspective whether you stand out there alone or not. And I remember David Banner saying before in a clip, I think it was with a Vlad interview, I want to say from back in the day. He said, being a visionary is a gift and a curse. You're gifted to see what others can't, but you're cursed to sit in it alone. And I feel like that's what exemplifies Jay Electronica's music and his views on a lot of things are. And he's really trying to paint a picture, or trying to tell his story. And that's part of being a great storyteller in hip hop. It's just being able to tell a story so people can see your perspective. They might not understand it, or I may not understand it. They might not agree with it, or they might disagree with it. But at the end of the day, they know exactly where you're coming from in terms of what you're trying to say. And then Jay Electronica is one of the top lyricists during his era, but I just don't think that he's active enough. And I respect activeness, opposed to, being dormant, only coming out so often. Now Kendrick Lamar's a little bit different because he'll give you a double project or give you 19 songs or 15 songs, and you might sit with it for 3 years, which I don't mind artists dropping every 3 years because artists like Drake and artists like NBA YoungBoy give you so much music, you don't have time to sit with it. So you don't really get a chance to analyze it and realize that your music is just for a moment. And anybody can drop music for a moment, and you can tell it's for the moment if you're dropping with such great frequency. Now, timeless music is dropped every 2 to 3 years. Now, if you're dropping every year and you're dropping several projects every year, that's telling me that you're just mass producing. And usually, when stuff is mass produced, it gets watered down. It's not pure as the same. So, if you go to McDonald's, it's mass produced. That food is, it's filler food. But if you're going to like Whole Foods and things like that, when they're making them in a smaller clip and they're greatly priced, then that's a whole nother story and that's more valued more. So that's why, hence why the cost is more. Um, but many critics didn't like these projects, but I do like these projects because of backpackerness of what I come from hip hop wise. But definitely check out these projects and tell me what you think about them. And until next time, I'll see you next time.